Hey, so this video is for anyone that wants to understand how to do a flare. It actually isn't that hard. For sure you need soft wall copper tubing. And make sure you get your fitting on before you do your flare. I'm actually installing a shut-off valve intermediary, so I don't have to shut it off the tank, or if I'm working on a piece of equipment I can turn the individual equipment off and continue to use the other one. This is actually all the tools you really need. A pair of needle nose, and I'll show you how to use those. And if you're going to tighten it down, obviously you want a wrench. And this is a flare tool along with this right here. If you'll notice on the back, there's no writing, and it's also smooth. And on the front, they have a concave portion of it, and there's also the numbers, so you're going to use that side. And so you just put this on. Again, make sure you have your fitting on, and I like to tighten the side that's closest first. That way I have a little bit of leverage on the other side. And you want to leave just a little bit more than a nickel. If you leave too much, what'll end up happening is sometimes your copper will split. So, not necessarily want to split hairs, but the more flare you have, the better your chances are to avoid any gas leaks. So once you get that tightened down, the reason for the needle nose, when you use the cutoff wheel, and on the inside of this there ends up being a impression, and I like to use these needle nose because they're tapered a lot more than this flaring tool. And just go in there, and it gets rid of some of the burrs and opens it up, and it's just a really quick thing you can do. And I don't know if it's visible, but it took that flare off from the cutting tool. So next you'll put your other half of your flare tool on. I like to bring it all the way up, and just go ahead and center it over that pipe. Now this has a longer handle than your stop does, and you're actually going to put a whole lot more torque into this thing than you would the other. Now when you're wrenching on this, what'll happen is it'll bottom out onto that cove that's built into the silver part of the tool. Alright, so just back that off. And if you want to inspect your work, sorry about that. Only on camera, I promise you. Alright, fine, come completely apart. If you want to inspect your work, you can just take one of these flare fittings and see how close that comes to the edge. So that one's actually perfect, and I probably went a little bit too tall on that. So now if you make it a little bit short, if you don't bring it up just past the nickel, it's going to come close to the edge but not all the way. So it's you play around with it until you get the results you want. But if your flare just comes to there, then you're not really getting a lot of surface area. So I actually have this entire area right here for sealing up the gas, and we don't have any cracks, so that's going to be a good fitting. Alright, so I can put that on. Before I put it like that. Now when you're doing these, you don't need any gas tape or paste, and probably a good idea to get another wrench. So you can put a wrench here, or there's another space over here, but I wouldn't advise this because this actually will allow you to take the tool apart. But they have a spot right here if you want to put another wrench on it. This is just for demonstration purposes, but so I'm just going to do the other side real quick. If you want to drop it off, it's fine. I've got some other projects in the fire, namely, see, don't forget put the thing on. If you don't put it on, what'll end up happening, you'll have to cut your nice new flare off. Some of the other projects I got going on that I'd like to share. One's going to be a capacitor style battery charger that you build yourself, and I really like it. I've bought so many chargers at the stores, and they all seem to fail. A lot of them within 6 months, some of them, you know, will last a year, but I don't know about you, I haven't really had any good luck with the store-bought chargers. And this one you could actually make variable rate. You can change the rating, put extra switches on if you want to change the rating. It's not really that hard. I have this food truck that I'm working in right now, and it's on it, and when it kicks on you can't even tell. The only problem with the charger is that it's a little bit dangerous, but I can show you how to make it so that it's really safe. Alright, so can you see that there? That's where it was cut off, and you see I raised it back up. Didn't do that one time. I had the funniest looking flare you've ever seen. It's like rolled over on itself. So you'll know when to stop when you're cranking on this. It just gets to the point where it abruptly stops, and at that point back it off. Wow, why does it feel so tight? Alright, so I took that completely off this time. Alright, so we can double check it if you want. And see, that one doesn't come quite as far, but it's got a lot of surface area, so that'll work. Alright, so that's about it. I'm not going to hook this up to this. I've got something else I want to hook it up to. But it's not that hard. I'd say anyone can do it if you got enough patience and you've got a little bit of mechanical background. So you just need one of these flare tools. This comes with it. It's like 20 bucks online. And then if you're going to be working with copper, you need a circle cutter wheel. I'd get the one with the double wheel. They work a lot better. Pair of needle nose to get rid of that burr, and a wrench. Make sure if you're going to be doing this, you know, where you don't have the flare fittings, like say you got the on the back of the stove you've got just regular fittings. Make sure you don't use this white tape. They make a tape especially for this, and it's yellow. And they also make a paste if you want to use the paste, but it's not that hard. You can do it yourself. Make sure you get it inspected by someone. Mine's going to be inspected also. Before you get it inspected, if you want to test it, get you some soapy water, really don't recommend this for most people, but I know some of y'all are gonna do it yourself anyway. So here it is. Don't hold me responsible. You do this at your own risk. Alright, so next couple of videos, battery charger, how I put window AC on a rooftop, and so on and so forth. Got a lot of videos coming up. See you. Take care.